First and foremost, a leader is somebody that should inspire others. They should inspire others to act and to become a better version of themselves. A leader is somebody that's going to encourage you to become a better version of yourself. Someone who genuinely cares for you to become better in your overall life, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, in your career. Just somebody that wants to wish well. Because here's the thing that really bothers me these days. A lot of people call themselves leaders, but the first thing foremost, the thing that they think of is I and myself. Leadership is not about yourself. It's about other people.
You know, the hardest part of being leader is taking accountability for when things mess up, and then handing
Laying the blame on somebody else.
or giving the spotlight to somebody else who you helped, develop, and always giving them praise and stuff like that, and always taking the back seat for that. Because at the end of the day, your team's success is really at the end of the day your success.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they don't work for you. You know what I mean? You work for them.
Welcome back to Behind the Strength, where we help you with your health, wealth, and peace of mind. I'm Christian Alvarez.
And I'm Carlo Balagase.
We're going to get straight to it today. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that we love covering, and it's all around us every single day. It's leadership and what it means to really be a leader. This is in front of our face every single day as the heads of a company, as entrepreneurs. This topic comes up a lot because technically, if you are an entrepreneur, and technically if you are a person that wants to run your life and be in control of your life, you're in some form of way a leader.
Absolutely.
Right? You're some form of way. Leadership starts from within, and it doesn't start from a title. Right? That's first and foremost. So the reason why we wanted to cover this today is because there's a lot of people going out there right now today that's talking about, or think of themselves as leaders and talk about leadership this and management that. And it's crazy because those are two totally different things. They may cross in one hand or another, but they're two totally different things.
Yeah.
We're talking about leadership is something that's just, it's in every single person, but the ones who really harness it are the ones that really, really actually develop that sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think to really shed a light on the fact that leadership, everybody struggles to become that leader 100%. That they want.
Yes.
Everybody on this wall, for example, it's almost like they were thrusted into it. I mean, some of them, were just born leaders who just took the bull by the horns, we got to do it this way.
Right.
But a lot of them, they went through trials and tribulations just to get to that point.
I think everybody, even if you are naturally born, like don't get me wrong, there's always going to be some people that are naturally, naturally born for leadership, where they have the natural senses and the charisma and all that stuff, but they still have to develop it. They still have to harness that. They still have to actually work on the aspect of leadership itself.
Yeah, actually,
you may have the qualities to start.
That maybe we could start there. What is a leader? How do you define a leader? What is the line between a leader and someone who just tells people what to do?
Well, first and foremost, a leader is somebody that should inspire others. They should inspire others to act and to become a better version of themselves. A leader is somebody that's going to encourage you to become a better version of yourself. Someone who genuinely cares for you to become better in your overall life, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, in your career. Just somebody that wants to wish well. Because here's the thing that really bothers me these days. A lot of people call themselves leaders, but the first thing foremost, the thing that they think of is I and myself. Leadership is not about yourself. It's about other people. That's the goddamn truth.
Yeah. How can I serve these people?
How can I serve the people around me? And how can I be a better version of myself?
Yes.
So that I can allow you guys to become a better version of yourself. Now, that's where that really is.
Now, what is your thought on born leaders?
Yes.
Is it real? Is
it's
there
the
such
qualities.
Thing?
Yeah, there's qualities of people that are stronger than others. So if you're a little bit more assertive, that kind of helps a little bit, because then you decide when you have to sit back and when you have to speak up, right? People who are a little bit, more laid back, they may not necessarily speak up immediately, and they may just take things by, like not so seriously if you're whatever it is. But a naturally born person as a leader, so to speak, it's just they have some qualities that are stronger in them than others. You can work on those qualities, such as, for example, I was never big on public speaking. I was never.
Really?
When I was younger, I was very nervous. I came here to this country. I didn't know English, so I started having
You
to
didn't
learn.
know English?
No, not here. No, not when I first got here.
Really?
So I actually started practicing on our way over here with like asking for water or ordering at a counter somewhere, and
Wait, how old were you?
627.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So naturally, when I get here, I don't really want to speak up as much because of the language barrier.
So you
Right?
spoke Filipino at one point. Can you still speak Filipino?
No, I can understand it fully. Though.
Yeah, isn't that weird? You could understand. I'm the
crazy.
same way.
I have to think really, really hard to say something.
Yeah,
But
that's weird.
if somebody's having conversations beside me, I can process that
Okay,
pretty quickly.
so when you came here, obviously you had some
a little language barrier. Not
language barrier.
Yeah, not for very long. but-
insecurities a little bit.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, and I wouldn't call myself out there, or I wouldn't be, very personable, or because I didn't understand that part, right? But you develop those things, and I think the further I went into school, the more confidence I gained in my ability to speak, in my ability to influence. Oh my God, I can actually influence somebody's, actions, or I can influence somebody's ideas. Then I kind of harness that even more. Then go into high school, and I kind of further, develop that part where it's like I'm going to go against the grain, and this is the way I'm going to lead my life.
And that's what I remember about you, because remember we've known each other for fucking
Yes, that's
years.
right.
I've always remembered you as the guy who in high school just did your thing, right? When everybody was focused on like dumb shit, like you were the guy who was like, yo, I'm bodybuilding. And you got your boys into it. Like you were that guy. You're that catalyst for everybody around in your crew to be like, oh shit, okay, let's do that too. As
Same with
was I.
you.
I was
Same with you. Yeah,
same way.
exactly.
Like, I wanted to breakdance. Everybody got into breaking,
Right.
DJing, partying,
Working
all that stuff.
out.
But you didn't recognize. Did you recognize it? I didn't really recognize it until later on. Did you?
I started to recognize that.
Yeah.
I started to
at what
understand
age
it.
did you start seeing that?
Grade 9.
Grade
high
9,
school.
eh? Really?
Grade 9
That's so
was,
young,
Do
too,
you know what
man.
it is? Because you walk into high school, and you were this big fish in this, little school, and like you're grade 8, right? Sure, you're a big dog. Coming to grade 9 now, you're gonna start and then now it's a mix of a whole bunch of cultures. Racial segregation happens naturally.
Yeah.
The separation divide happens, and people can't all of a sudden speak with these people and whatever.
What high school was this?
Jean Vanier.
Oh, you went to Venue right away.
Yeah, Vanier right away.
Yeah.
And so you started to see that. But I started to figure, hey, you can actually connect and pretty much hang out with every single person, because this is the way it's always been for me in grade school. You don't necessarily need to go in that same direction, right?
So did you go there with your boys before,
no,
or you
I
just
had
went
nobody.
like you had no
Fresh.
So nobody from your old school
Nada.
went to Vanier.
No. I knew one guy who was in OAC, and he literally left the school after 2 months.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I went solo, literally. So
Okay, so you met.
I had to meet everybody.
C's, and how did you meet C's and Byron and?
Byron was a friend of mine from when I was young.
Okay.
From like 6 years old. Like
Okay.
I met him here, in school, Holy Cross, and then C's we met in grade 9. Right?
Vanier. Was he in Vanier?
No, he was at St. Pat's. Got kicked out of
Yeah, he
St.
got kicked out.
Pat's.
That's right. He got kicked out.
And Byron was like, "Yo, take care of my boy Tiny, because
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be coming into Vanier."
Yeah.
And sure enough, I took him around, introduced him to everybody, that kind of stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
I love doing that stuff, and I think those are the things that you start to see that in yourself. I did, and you're like, "Wow, this is what leadership is. This is you're gonna take care of somebody." You're going to introduce him to people. You're going to be like, all right, man, this is my man's. Take care of him. If he needs anything, take care of him.
Okay,
right?
so
all
let
you
me-
guys
okay.
look out for him.
Let me ask you this though: did you have to become that, or you were just?
It was
because you know how
naturally
sometimes
that.
like you just get annoyed that there's everybody in the crew and everyone in your group just there's no action. Nobody's taking the reins on anything. Nobody's
No.
making the first decisions.
Okay,
Nobody's
so
making the
so
first
that's
move.
a two-sided coin. Yes, I naturally did that, and
So
I
you
think,
took you're the ideas guy. You're the let's do this, guys.
yes, and the second part of it is because I'm not very I'm not very patient.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Let's go.
I'm not very patient. I want things done immediately. So therefore, if nobody's taking action, I'm just gonna do it.
And
So
then
that's
you had the know-how to get everybody on board and
yes,
and to
yeah,
fall in
and
line,
to
let's do
influence.
this.
And okay, so
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
organize it this way.
You knew it and you harnessed that
I
ability.
harnessed it. So I
Okay.
read like crazy, and then I started to practice to be the first one. Like English class, I want to present my essay, but I would work very very hard on my essay from top to bottom, and then work on actually presenting it. My highs, my lows, my this and that,
Nice.
because I understood now what the power of words and your actions can do. So getting in front of these people, you can capture them, and that's where the whole leadership thing started for me.
So you knew right away or early on that you liked influencing people.
Yes, 100%. But not in the same way of
Not
you know,
not like
yeah.
scamming them, but
No,
like
but like you have an influence on people's minds. What
Yeah.
you say, if you have a justification to it, and if you have it deep down in your heart, you believe every part of it, people are going to believe you. People are going to naturally be like, oh my God, I kind of believe what he says, right? Because he believes it himself, right? So if you have that in you, it kind of helps a lot. So that's why I say, like, yes, people are born with these things, but you still have to work on harnessing it.
well, okay, funny you should say that because remember our conversation over there.
Yeah.
Early on when you were working at Athletes World, you
Yes.
said you
Yeah.
got put in a leadership role.
Yeah, I was 17 years old.
No management, real management training
No,
and stuff
nothing.
like that. And your go-to was, what did you say again?
Oh,
Like,
somebody was trying to snake a sale on. We worked at Athletes World in Nike, so you're supposed to stay on one side or the other. This guy comes in and he starts, selling our products, and I'm like, can you please just stay on your side?
So somebody from Nike.
So from
that-
somebody from
so
Athletes
you
World
guys,
was
so hold
crossing
on, you
over.
guys were different. I remember that. That was back in the
Same
day.
company.
Wasn't that in Eden Center or something like that?
All of them, Eaton Center, Scarborough
Yeah, I remember
Town.
that. Like you would walk into Athletes
It was
World and
owned
you,
by
you
Bata.
Then you ended up in Nike. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
I remember that.
so generally you're supposed to stay on the same side unless you have a client that's going around, right?
So you guys were working for two different companies?
No, same company.
Same company, but
Yeah.
you like stay on your side.
Yeah, stay on your side type of
That's
deal.
kinda weird.
right?
That's weird.
But then, and then this guy would actually pick on other people and snake their sales from them, especially like the younger ones, right? He was probably in his 20s. So finally, I'm like, hey, listen, can you just stay over on your side, please? Or can you not take other people's sales? He's like, yeah, I'll do whatever I want to do, whatever. Brush me off because I'm young, I'm 17. And all of a sudden, my natural inclination, can I speak to you? I'm firing you for insubordination.
You said that?
Yeah, I said that.
Damn. Who says insubordination?
Well, I knew what the word meant.
Yeah.
And I was saying, he was
That's
like,
such a
what?
weird thing to say to people.
And I'm like, yeah.
you're insubordinate.
I said, I'm going to write
Like,
you up or for this, that, and the other, and we're
Yeah.
letting you go.
Isn't it funny how that was your go-to thing?
That was
And
my
that's
go-
a
I
lot
didn't
of
know.
people's go-to
I
thing.
didn't know.
Well, you're not listening to me. Well, you're fired because I have the power.
Yeah, and he made like a scene at in front of the client. He's like, yo, man, go away, like whatever. And I'm
Wait.
like,
You said that in front of
he-
everybody?
No. I pulled him to the
Okay,
back. I
okay.
said, can you come to the back for a second? We need to speak about this immediately.
Okay.
Because of the way he did it along the floor, and he kind of dismissed the other employee there.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of even hearing him out or anything like that, it was like, yeah, you're fired.
Okay, what would you have done differently knowing your leadership role now, the things that you know now? What if you were to go back and embody yourself back in the day, what would you have done differently with that guy?
I would have to sit down with him and ask him exactly why he feels the need to steal other people's sales, or why the need to. Hey, listen, everybody, like there's rules to follow in here and whatever, but and generally we'll let you cross over, but don't start crossing over and grab somebody else's customer. But I'd like to find out what the science to him behind that is.
To really break him down and
Yeah, break
understand
them
why
down.
he's
Just be like,
doing
yeah,
that.
why are you doing this to begin with? Like, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
Are you angry at these people, or do you just like not respect them enough to be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna just take your client?
You never know,
Right?
right? Because the dynamics go deeper than just him stealing clients. You never know. Maybe, he has to. He's broke and he needs to provide for
Yeah,
his family.
exactly.
And everybody else is just lackadaisical, and he feels like, listen, man, these guys all suck. Management never hired the right people.
It's funny
Let
'cause,
me just take this.
Because he went to go work for another retailer, Sport Check, down the hall, and we didn't speak for a couple of months. Finally, when we see each other in the mall, and finally, like, hey, I went up to him. I'm like, hey, man, I'm so sorry the way that went down. It shouldn't have gone down that way. He's like, yo, I'm sorry too, man. I was a fucking dickhead.
Oh, so he knew. He
Yeah,
admitted.
he knew.
Was just,
He
he's
goes,
being an
yo, man.
arrogant
He goes,
asshole.
yeah. He was a rapper too in the side and whatever. So he had that, and he was a big guy. We called him Ox.
Yeah. Wait,
no-
Ox.
Yeah.
What's his real name?
I don't even remember anymore. But he was a big dude, and he'd go around and he'd like, He'd literally bully people around for a sale. Like, yo, that's my client already. It's like, what do you mean that's your client? The guy just walked in. Get out of here.
There's some characters at Athletes
There's
World,
some-
man.
yeah,
That's
in
from back in the day, retail back in the day.
But you know what?
Holy.
And going back to things, like knowing what I know now, and this is many years later, like 17 years plus later of leadership roles that I've had, there's always a process and steps to take, and there's always a better way to take than just to approach that in that manner, right? And I think a lot of people, the biggest thing is this, and it's part of why we want to cover this. Just because somebody puts you in a management role or a managerial role, it doesn't mean you're a leader.
No.
You manage. So what we always say is you manage the business or you manage the position and you lead people. That's the real truth. Because without leadership, your management of all these processes and all that shit in the business is nothing. First and foremost is human touch. I wrote a thing down here saying, the qualities that leaders should have, right? And some of the things I put, they should be, for very obvious reasons, they should be confident. And when I say confident, I don't mean just confidence because of I think I'm the shit. It's confidence in knowing that you're doing the right things, you have the right intentions for people, that you have a want to genuinely help these people, and that confidence in you is something that, hey man, no matter what, I got you, and I'm not gonna break down.
So confidence in the role, or confidence in your
yourself.
ability to take the leadership role.
Yeah, and to take the
Not necessarily like I may not have all the skills to be an effective leader.
No.
But I know in my heart that I'm gonna grind until I do, and I can connect with people. It's like that. It's like a boxer's or a fighter's confidence.
Yeah,
I may not be world champion, but I know I'm gonna work my ass off until I do.
To be the best,
to be
world
the best.
champion I
my
can be.
foundation is strong. So
exactly.
when I learn new things, it's on.
Exactly.
Right?
So that's
stepping
confidence.
into the ring like that. Yeah.
Right. You have to be able to inspire others, and by doing that, you got to walk your walk, not just talk the talk. Too many people, especially on social media, talk shit all day long. You got to walk your walk. If you want somebody to scrub a toilet, fucking scrub it first. You know that. We know that. We do it all the time, right? Initiative. Like, people, don't stop waiting around in life. And this goes for, remember, we're talking about leadership. We're not just talking about you leading a team. We're talking about leading your goddamn self, eh? That's what this real topic is about. And it's taking initiative in life. Stop waiting around for life to happen. Don't wait till I have enough money to start the business. Don't wait for, I'm going to wait for the right moment to speak to my spouse, or to talk to that one girl out there. I'm just going to wait for the perfect moment. Oh, today's not a day. No, stop being like that, man. It's never going to come. You got to take initiative.
Yeah.
You really got to grab life by the horns and say, hey, yo, I'm going to take what is mine, right? And a big thing is accountability, right? Being a leader isn't that I'm the top of the hill and I'm always right and my way's the way. Most of the times you're wrong, actually, as a leader. You're wrong because you didn't, react the right way, or you failed to do something. When somebody on your team fucks up or fails, you actually failed, to be honest with you. That's the real truth.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to take accountability for that. You have to take accountability for your life.
The hardest part of being a leader is taking accountability for when things mess up, and then handing
laying the blame on somebody else,
or giving the spotlight to somebody else who you helped, develop, and always giving them praise and stuff like that, and always taking the back seat for that, because at the end of the day, your team's success is really at the end of the day your success.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't work for you. You know what I mean? You work for them.
Yes, it's true. It's 100% true. A big thing that I think a lot of people, especially when they get to these leadership roles, that they forget, and it's very, very important, and I've been trying to practice even more so, is empathy. You have to be empathetic towards who is in front of you and what they're going through, what they've gone through, or what really is their reality, before you start to, give them a whole bunch of, start to dump down on them, or I want you to do this, I want you to do that. Just be empathetic to the person first. Who is this person in front of me?
For me, when I think leadership, there's two people that come to mind. One is my mother, and one's my grandma. And It's funny, because these days people are talking about inequality. In my entire life, women were the strongest influences in my life. They're the baddest people on the planet to me. Because my grandma, she was like really small, weak, and stuff like that, but she makes people move. Like she
can influence
plays,
you, yeah.
She plays those games
Yeah.
where like she could get the entire family riled up,
Right,
Because
right.
she just like plants a little seed on and one family member, and then that trickles onto
She
the next.
really plays
She
it
plays
smart.
chess, yo.
Yeah.
Checkers. Chess. Yeah, she plays amazing chess because she would get somebody to do something that would influence somebody to do something else to get something done for her.
Yeah.
And she was strong as hell, right? All the females in my family are strong. But when I say leadership, is because they could display that grit. Like, yo, we got to do it. You know what I mean? Like, let's go, guys. With it to the entire family, but also be empathetic to when things are wrong. Say my mother, like, you know, be empathetic to the person, whoever everybody's mad at and stuff like that. She still has the ability to sit down with them and try to bring them up when everybody else was turning their back
against them. Yeah.
and you know everybody else, and still be able to celebrate their success. But even though she knew she was a huge part in that success.
Yeah. That's assertiveness too. That's like being able to stand up and speak when nobody else is. Like, you will do that.
And
That's
it doesn't require physical dominance.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right. You don't that leader isn't, you know, the King Leonidas type person.
No. Not,
You don't have to be that person.
Not at all. And to be honest with you, people who try to lead that way, though it may last for a little while, it's nothing that's going to withstand real storms in life, and it's nothing that's going to be a long-lasting thing for you. You can't lead with an iron fist. You really can't. It may work on some instances, not to say that those don't work, because they do work here and there when strategically used, when tactically used, right? But you can't go around bossing people around thinking doing this and that, or thinking you're the shit. Meanwhile, there's not a person that's following you, right? For people to want to follow you, they want to know that what you can do for them, or where you're going to get them.
So my question is, what is the point of why would people want to become a leader in anything they do? Because it's easy to be like, I don't want to deal with that shit, man.
Well, because first and foremost, that says everything about you as a person. The reason why I put this on is not for somebody to go and lead a team, or somebody to go manage a team, or whatever it may be of people. It's more so taking the lead for yourself. All these qualities that we just named is something that you should try to embody yourself, because that's how you're going to live your best life. That's how you're going to get the best outcomes out of your life. Do you ever think that somebody who is, let's just say, financially well off, just sat on their ass and literally had the world come to them? No, they had to knock on doors. They had to try very uncomfortable things that they didn't like, or unknown, go into unknown territory they didn't know. They had to learn new things. They had to develop their empathy. They had to develop their mindset and their will. Like, that stuff has to be worked on.
Wow, the ability to get a small group or big group of people to collaborate on concentrated efforts, so everybody could win, that could be transferred over to any area in your life,
like any area in your life.
Because relationship, family.
Yeah, because you walk into the house. Okay, you guys may not think of life like this, but you should, because everything in life is about tribes. You have your work tribe, you got your social tribe, you got your familial tribe, and each one of those always needs a leader. Have a look at, stand back and have a look at where your position is in life in those places, and usually it'll reflect back on yourself.
Well, look at our construction in Mississauga, right? The people that we're dealing with are leaders in their
own group,
electricians,
yes,
plumbers, and stuff like that.
Yes.
But then we're coming together now and rallying those troops,
of course,
leading them so we could get this project
going. Yeah, for sure.
And that's just always a constant.
Yeah.
One step forward, one step back, 2 steps forward, 100%. 1 step back.
And that's the way it's going to be when you're trying to develop yourself. And when I say as a leader, it's like, first lead your life. Well, let's not even talk about you having any people. Lead your life. Be on top of your game of your life. Like, are you doing things for yourself to develop mentally, physically? If you want to move up in your job, are you doing stuff to kind of, improve what your IQ level is in your job, or your efficiency level at your job is? Are you trying to solve problems there, right? So look at yourself first and foremost, and
So-
start from development there.
So pretty much be the person that you would love to lead.
Exactly.
Be that person.
Because what ends up happening, you know what, every single one of these people, they never focused on anybody else. They focused on first and foremost myself. And then from there, people will naturally come.
Because if you really focus, if you think about it, if you focus on yourself, you're self-aware, you understand the emotions you go through, your skill level, how to break down problems, you can now help somebody else fix something within them.
Yeah, or navigate their own life.
That's the only reason, mentors exist, is because, oh, you're going through this. Well, I understand that because I went through this. Try this way because that helped me get out of that. All right, having those experiences, being self-aware mentally, spiritually, physically, and all that stuff, you could help a lot of people.
But that's where it all connects. When we said earlier, leadership is not about yourself, it's about other people. Essentially it is, but you got to start within yourself.
Yes.
You got to look at everything that you're doing, your habits on a daily basis, your vices on a daily basis, your thoughts. Go down to the thought. When you're starting to get a negative thought and you're starting to get angry at somebody or say something bad, catch that, because that is what translates into your outer world. And nobody wants to be around that. You can't be a good leader like that. Nobody wants to be around that shit, right? You can put intensity into your life, but nobody wants that negative shit. And number one thing is controlling your mind.
Yeah.
Right? Being in great shape and healthy state helps with all that. That's why I said work on yourself first, and then the people will come. Then it becomes about other people, because essentially when you're doing this, after a while you're not doing it for yourself anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when it starts to come. That's when people will start to be like, yo, that is a person of influence, and man, we want to emulate that.
Well, at the same time, man, if you don't work on yourself, to be able to lead during chaos and not be chaotic yourself, that's very important.
And you got to remember,
That's
folks, life is very chaotic, up, down, all the time. It can turn at any time, right? It can turn at any time. And so once you've actually mastered yourself, your own leadership, you're able to actually go through those times, and not only that, but actually take them as advances in you as a person, because now you're taking the lessons to go alongside with them. And if you don't work on yourself, guess what? You're going to drown like the rest of them. And you're going to be sitting in your room. You're going to be thinking, what the fuck did I do with my life, man?
So speaking of working on yourself, you have a list of books that, that you wanted people to read. And I agree with all these books.
Yeah.
We read
So
them all.
we're going to leave you off with some good reads, or if you're an audio person, we love audio books as well. We use an
Well, if
app
they're
called
listening to
Audible.
if they're listening to podcasts, you probably listen to audiobooks.
You probably
too.
listen to audiobooks too. So 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. That's a really good one. The Art of War, which I'm redoing right now, by Sun Tzu. Leadership and Self-Deception by Steve Carlson. That's a good one. We got a lot out of that.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
You need to, that's
a
good
big one. Relentless by Tim Grover. And another good one, we have many, but another good one is Tribal Leadership by Dave Logan.
Yeah, that's a great one.
So these are some great books. Guys, hit us up, please, regarding this topic. We love talking about this stuff, because this is what we do all day long, how we can better ourselves, and how, therefore, we can better serve other people.
Yeah.
And if you're on the same page, then hit us up at...
You could hit us up at Strengthen You, STRENGTH, the letter N, the letter U, on Instagram.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Please like us and share this with somebody if you really got something out of it. And we're more than open to hearing for some new topics or anything like that you guys want to say. Just hit us up.
Yeah.
All right?
Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Later.